Hello, this is Main Idea lesson number 3. You are completing this lesson if you did not get enough questions correct on the Main Idea quiz on your first try, or if you would just like some extra review. Let's review some of the key points about Main Idea. Evaluating main idea and details. To identify the main idea, ask yourself what the passage is mostly about. Look for details that tell you more about the main idea. The main idea is the most important idea. I'm going to underline this key term, main idea. Often, it is not stated directly. Directly means that the words are written out directly in the text. When the main idea is not stated directly, read the passage carefully for details that support the main idea. In fiction, details give you more information about the characters in the story. You can use graphic organizers to help you identify the main idea and details. In the top box, write the main idea. In the boxes underneath, write details that tell you more about the main idea. Here we go, let's practice. Think about it. Read the sentences below. What are the main idea and details? Carlos was getting ready for bed when he remembered the permission slip. Where was it? He had to get it signed and take it to school tomorrow, or he would miss out on a field trip. We start by reading carefully about this passage, and then we find some of the major details in this story. I know that one detail was that Carlos has to get the permission slip signed. They said here that he has to get the permission slip signed in order to go on the field trip. Here we say he has to take it to school, right? He has to take it to school tomorrow. And our last detail, if he doesn't take it to school, he will miss the field trip. Now, with these details, I have to determine the main idea or the most important detail that is about these 3 details. So let's think about what's most important here. I learned Carlos has to get his permission slip signed. I know that he has to take it to school, and I know that if he doesn't take it to school, he will miss the trip. So what I'll say is that in terms of the main idea, that it's very important that Carlos find his permission slip. So here I'll say it's important that Carlos find his permission slip. Notice, this wasn't something that was stated directly. They didn't say it's important that Carlos find his permission slip. It tells me a story about this. And based on the details in the story, I can infer or make a guess about the main idea. Now let's go over a reading strategy. The strategy is predict. When you predict, you make a guess about what will happen next in a passage. In order to predict, you read the title, you look at the pictures, and you read the first sentence in order to predict what the passage will be about. As you read each paragraph, you'll predict what will come next. Let's move forward and practice. Here it says, read the passage. Use the notes on the side to help you. Then answer the questions on the next page. Here we say, search for the slip. Our guiding question is main idea. Is the main idea stated directly in each paragraph? Details. What details tell you about Carlos? And predict. As you read each paragraph, what do you think will happen next? We'll be doing those 3 things as we read through this passage. Carlos was almost ready for bed when he remembered the permission slip. Where was it? He had to get it signed and return to school tomorrow, or else he would miss out on the field trip. So I already know from our practice that in this paragraph, the main idea is not stated directly. I'm going to make a prediction that Carlos will spend some time struggling to find his permission slip. His search began with his backpack. He excavated broken pencils, wrinkled papers, and a calculator. Then he shook the entire backpack upside down over his bed. Crumbs and minuscule pieces of paper fluttered out, but not the permission slip. Where could it be? Again, I don't think that the main idea is stated directly. It has something to do with him not being able to find the permission slip, because all of the details are about his hunt for them. Carlos turned his pants pockets inside out, but all he got were a couple of dimes and a ball of lint. He pulled dirty clothes from the laundry basket to examine their pockets. Still, no permission slip. It was not on his desk, so he yanked out the drawers. The last drawer flew completely out, and its contents spilled on the floor, including a small seashell. So that is where the seashell was. He lost it months ago. Boy, sounds like Carlos sure is making a mess. That tells me a detail about Carlos. He is just a messy kid, right? His pockets are full of stuff. His backpack's full of stuff. He's got weird stuff hiding in the drawers. He's not very organized. Let's keep reading. Carlos surveyed his bedroom. The floor was spotted with socks of all colors, and his bed was so littered that the quilt was completely buried. As Carlos cleaned up, he spotted a piece of paper half hidden by a t-shirt. Success! It was the permission slip. Next time he lost something, he would check the floor first. Oh boy, poor Carlos. Check out that picture. Look at his messy, messy room. Now what we'll do, now that we saw that most of the main ideas were not stated directly, we'll begin working on our practice. You have 6 questions here. Remember to read all of the answer choices that you are given. You do not need to complete question number 6 about a separate piece of paper. Here we go. Number 1. Which detail supports the main idea that Carlos does not find the permission slip in his backpack? Go ahead and complete that, and when you're ready to move on, unpause. Number 2. The main idea in the 3rd paragraph is, remember to go back to the 3rd paragraph. Make sure you're looking at the right paragraph or you'll really get messed up on this question. Number 3. Which title best describes the main idea of the 3rd paragraph? I remember that title questions are often asking me about main idea. They're sneaky questions. Number 4. Which detail supports the idea that Carlos is messy? And number 5. Which statement is the main idea of the whole story? Once you've completed these 5 questions, you've now completed your main idea packet. You are ready to turn in your completed packet to be checked by your teacher. So please follow the procedures that your teacher has given you in order to get credit for this completed lesson. You may choose a new topic now and begin with lesson 1 of your new topic. I hope you have learned a lot about main idea and are ready for the CSTs. It's a big topic on the CST test. Thanks for participating.